in chapter 1 there are some restrictions to name the variable and symbolic constants. So let's just get into this variable thing in detail. So naming variables is not like that you can name anything. There's some rules that you need to follow, and these rules are you need to follow these rules. There's no it's a way to uh, escape these things. Why this is into not book mode? Continuous. Okay. Types and operators and expression variables. Variables. There are some restriction in the names of variables and symbolic constants. I'll tell you what are symbolic constants. Names are made of letters and digits. The first character must be a letter. The underscore count as a letter. Sometimes useful for improving readability of long variable doesn't begin. So you can always check out the rules here. Some basic thing you can always check on internet. Rules for variable naming. Rules for variable naming in C. Okay, let's just go to any website. You get this bunch of rules. Number names contain letters, digit, underscores, nothing else. Names must begin with letter or underscore. Letter and underscore. No digits allowed as a beginning. That basically means you can't have 6M. Like here, there's a M declared variable, can't have 6M. Numbers are case sensitive. Numbers cannot contain wide space or special characters. Reverse keywords, reserved keywords. You can't use int, float, or reserved keywords that are being already used by the language. So you understand there's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rules. So here's the rules, and you can check on internet. Or if you want, I can just save this link somewhere to give you. I can just say you can look into this file. Let me just save it here. Okay, rules for naming of variables. Variables. Okay, now let me show you examples. Some like if we are here, the editor itself will say it's wrong or right. I say int 6m n equals to 0. You see, we can't start with digits, or either we just can start with a letter or underscore. So letter underscore. First two rules are done. Then it's a case sensitive. My and int capital My equals to 0 are not same thing, because if they are same, it should be thrown as error. Not now showing, but it will definitely show when I run. So these two rules are done, and you can't say int equals to 0. That's also wrong. So reserve keywords. You can also say int printf. Just have a name that's already there. Reserved keywords. What's reserved keywords? Let me show you if you're confused about that thing. Reserved keywords in C. And by now you have known why my name of channel is Internet Dev. Reserved keywords in C. You can see there are different reserved keywords in C. Reserved keywords are basically all those things that you're gonna use in the programming language that's there in the program. Like if you can even use else, long, switch, type def, unsigned, void, for, float, go, if, int, struct. These all things are already defined, and you don't want to use those things as a variables names. So we are done with the variable names. So let's get back into the book. Data types and sizes. Okay, this is also important. So character always takes a single byte, capable of holding one character in local character set. Int and integer typically reflecting the natural size of integer on the host machine. It depends. For integer, it depends. Float, single precision floating point number, double precision floating point number. Single means single precision, float means single precision, and double means double precision floating point numbers. And if you want to, let's just show how we deal with integers. The word int can be a qualitative declaration, can be a cumulative declaration. This types, okay, this is something different. So you can check this book, and it's very nicely defined sizes. So let me show you in the internet, because you know till now data types and sizes in C. So here, okay, for the 5.9 and float characters is a list. For integers, 2 or 4 bytes depends upon what's your system. Float 4 bytes double 8 bytes, character 1 byte. Stores fractional numbers or decimal, that is decimal point numbers. Decimal point number is more precision, like here, and this character 1 byte. You guys also see this formatting thing. Let me just save this one also, and I can just say rules for naming variables, and I'll say rules for, what about it, data types and sizes. I just paste it here. Okay, now I can go back where we were. So the data size constants. What are constants? So an integer constant like 1, 2, 3, 5 is an int. A long constant in a terminal like this, and the integer is too big to fit into int. This will be taken as a long. Unsigned constant in a terminal with u, floating point constants, exponents. Value of integer can be separated octal hexadecimal numbers. Okay. For decimal, a character constant integer with written as one character with a single quotation. They are telling about something certain. You can also read this thing. What is constants? Certain characters can be represented in character string constants by escape sequence. Okay, complete set of escape characters, hexadecimal things. Okay. A constant expression is expression that involves only constants. String constant is string literary sequence of, what is a string? Okay, I explained you string, but don't tell you string what is. So I can say a string. Where is this? Okay, a string is group of characters or a sequence of 0 or more characters that is surrounded by double quote. That's the string. You can also see it here. Okay, you can also check this. So before going further, why don't I show you what is constants? What did this mean? Book trying to say constants. Let's see. Okay. So constant in C are the read-only variables whose values cannot be modified once they are declared in C program. This type of constant are integer, constant, floating point, string, character. So they must start with the constant keyword. Constant. I think so. They not mean a constant. The book, or they constants, because if they sort of mentioned long constant. Basically, they're saying the constants are one those can be changed later on. So they can be declared with const keyword, const int variable 5. They can be changed like this one. So if it's they're talking about constants or constant. Okay. This definitely there's the same thing, but I have a little confusion. The values and variables, constants. So if I'm right, you can also make me correct the comment. Constants. Let me just go into one program to show you. Okay, this one. If we can say that insert, we can say there's some values that are the same throughout. So constant float pi. Let's say pi's value is 3.14. 3.14. There's more values, but 3.1. What is that? Right? 3.14. So if you tried, if once you says that this variable is constant, basically means it will not be changing in the further program. If I try to say pi is equals to something new, point like 0.4, okay, 4, and just save and run this program, definitely throw a big error. See, assignment of read-only variable pi. You understand now? Constants can't be changed. That's why they're called constants. So if we, let's just go here and declaration. Okay, so you have seen this int lower upper step. This is called declaration of a variable. All variables must be declared before using, although certain declaration can be made implicitly by context. Declaration specify type and one number of variables. We have seen this thing. There are a bunch of things. We'll get into this thing. There's characters in float. I've already told those things. You can also check. So this is declaration of a variable. This thing depends declaration of variable. Now let's get into operators. Operators are a fun thing. WQ. So if we have a specific amount of read this into the C, then we'll just can see the Raylib implementation because we want to see something. What do I? Let me show one program because for you, I can do CD then ls. I can say I think so I into one I then ls CD game premix. Get into there and just run the VS code here. For the Raylib, you need a VS code to be done because I can't type in and be very frustrated. So okay, so to show you here, let me do one thing is just remove all this template files because we are starting some basic files. You just see how I'm doing because this will also have you going with Raylib. Okay, wait. I think so. We have something game.c and project one. Just remove this one. We don't need right now. Close. Okay. We don't need now this now. Guys, closed. Close. Okay, kill this if from the terminal if from. Okay, now as you can see, one deleted all these folders, and first thing we'll do is you see that the structure of really game object game src, and here you just say basic screen dot c. You see how do I give the file name? This are some of the things you can do. So let me just open my browser and we can just go to Raylib. Just go to Raylib website and we will create a example. And they will look for basic syntax. For everything you just need to know first the basic syntax. So to deal with Raylib, first we need to include is something called Raylib.h. As you see, how do we include the studio.h to use Raylib.h. Basically, I will tell you what the header files are later on. What the store and how this work. So for this one, we can do is for now. Okay, if I just make it here, it will be more visible. So to initialize a string, initialize a window, and if we say init window, and then we can define the screen height and screen width. For that, you can say get the screen. You can just go with the def. Okay, this I have taken right now constant. So we want the screen height and width for the our game or demonstration, whatever we see. It's 800 and in the screen height that's 450. So these values we don't want to change because we don't have a dynamic screen or fixed screen. So when we say const, it will just we can't change it later on. If you try to, it will throw an error because let me show you screen height equals to something, and it's just gonna occur when I'm gonna compile. So no problem right now. It's just init a window. What is init window? It basically means initialize the window. Initialize basically somewhat correlated to starting. Let's say screen height and width and height. I can say this provide this name. This is the basic screen. This basic. It need a what we call semicolon. So don't worry about what is this thing, this functions thing. I've not seen it. You just type it because this way you can get familiar with it. Get target. Get fps. You have heard fps. I know that thing. Frame per second. Just I will put 30 right now because no need to force my computer to 60. While loop we will get into. So don't worry. Window should close. So this is basically a way to say until the window is not closed, go into a loop. So what I want to show you is this. We can do some fun stuff here. So you just type this thing. I will go into functions and loops. then we'll better understand what is these things. Clear background. No, I can face some errors in typing, but no need to worry, and it has a way to debug. Okay, white is color. Then we say okay, then we can just say intro. We just type this stuff right now. We'll tell you later on all these things, so don't worry about all this, what is going on. So close window. If you want to know how I am learning these things, so you can come to my stream. I learn this thing on some particular days in a week. Basically learning Raylib using C. So what I want to show you two things. First is variable declaration, constant variable thing, and we can just go show you some good thing. Int speed is equals to 30. Let's just take 2. And just say, just draw a circle. Okay, how do I draw a circle? Go to cheat sheet. Then you can just go to shapes and you see draw circle. You need center, x and y, and then float radius. A circle, and you need center. So for now I just say 20 and 20. Define any values, because like 100 and not doing any calculation, just doing random. So radius, so 12 is radius, and you need color. You can see that I'm just typing this thing up. So color is red, definitely. And one thing I do is, as its position need to be declared by me in the form of variables. I can just say position is equals to 100, and then say int is equals to int position y is equals to 100. So you see these things are variable declaration. The 12 is the value stored in somewhere in storage with the name as speed, and stuff data is int. So how can we have stored two values, position x and y of the circle. You can say we want to use it, you can just say position x and position y. So now we want to include some speed thing. I'll just show you the speed x. What we'll do, while we are in the loop, you can say x speed x plus equals to 12. The speed x plus what is this thing? Plus equals to 12. Then just close this thing. Now the speed will not do anything, because until we change its position, the position x is equals to the position older into speed. So I want to, and I can just say speed. Let's just see speed x. There are better ways to do it, but let's just see. Let's go to terminal, and first thing we need to do is run the pre-make command. Let's clear this thing first. The pre-make. So we have pre-make. No, we don't have. We can just get it. Okay, say so, and then GNU Linux. Then we can just scroll down here, go to pre-make, then here it's the things pre-make gmake 2, and this no also directory, just because we are not inside the root directory. First we need to get the root directory, that's this one. Then we'll run this command again, then we just say make. Okay, so you can see basically I have some error, close window, draw circle, init window. So it basically saying some typos. Int w, then we have draw circle. It says small c or a big C. Spelling is wrong. Draw circle. SIRCLE. Then last one is the close window. It should be capital. So if it's not small, I think C is small. It says capital C, and save it, and just run the make command again, and we're done. Now we can get inside the game, cd bin debug, and we're just gonna run the executable file, and you can see we have the red dot thing. We're just not moving because we need to get the current frame. So I can just say need to get current frame. Get these are just functions that provide some functionalities. You can I will tell about all these things upcoming videos. Speed x. If nothing is error here, then we can also open Raylib in another tab. Raylib. Leave this.
So we were doing basically moving the object. So I was basically using showcasing the use case of variable. Use case of variable as the position of the object on the grid on the grid. So you can define like int speed x and position y, position x, position y, but defining. So the main thing is I want to show you just the use case. So don't worry about what is just I'm doing. You can also just copy this thing and just try to run it. I've already shown you how to run it. So okay, so let's just first get so to run the make command if you're a Linux user, and for the Windows user you have the other things. You always can check that in GitHub how to use premakes, and there are a bunch of YouTube videos for that thing also. How to use VS Code with Windows using with Raylib and C thing also. So we have make command has been run. So we have now executable files. We can now check what is happening. So as we now executable file, you will be seeing a accelerating object. Okay, so do you see the thing use case of speed? Now what can so thank you for this video. We'll see you next video. Next video operators. We'll try to show you that thing. It's using some platformer.